Have you ever had an absolute ton of garden waste and not really known what to do with it? You don't particularly want to have a bonfire, so what do? Perfectly fine for tree surgeons when they're using them all the time, but as a homeowner, it's very unlikely that you're going to own a chipper, or even as a gardener, it's pretty unlikely that you own a chipper as well. Just reviewing this Eliet, not quite sure how you pronounce it. It's built like a tank. I've got it on hire from Boels Rental, who I've been using for quite a few years. They bought out a hire shop that I used to use years ago, and since they've taken over it's been fantastic. The kit's always really new. Like this one's only got 11 hours on it, which is nothing. 23 horsepower engine, but what you actually really want to know is how it performs. So let's get into some of that. So this is actually quite a lot bigger than the machine that they had advertised, which is good. The controls are really easy to use, took me no time at all. This version is the one with wheels that is driven. So there is one that's road towable, which is probably a lot easier for transportation. I'll talk about that a bit later. With it being only 442 kilos, it means that you don't have to have anything special on your license to be able to tow it, which is great. But it does then mean that that's now in competition with some of the Timber products like the Timber TW2H30. And it's not as good as them, but it is £5,000 cheaper at £15,000. Realistically, I would just be hiring this, so the purchase price isn't really relevant to me. The most important thing to me is just that it's reliable. I know that I could order it, it would turn up, and I would be able to use it all day. So it's worked pretty hard today. Had a decent mixture of materials, conifer, leylandii, and some sycamore, yew. A good variety of different things have gone through it, and it's really not struggled at all with anything. That's, even if it's knobbly, it's still gone through. So it might be slightly over. It's supposed to take 120 millimeters, and it's definitely taken more than that without really any issues. And it goes through at pace, which is the important thing. You're not stood around waiting to load it again. The only thing I would say about it is, for the type of use that you have, it's pretty bulky, so you'd need a trailer to be able to transport it. The reason why I hire these in is so that I don't have to store it somewhere, which is pretty annoying if you need to have separate storage just to own a piece of equipment. This one is £120 a week, and then it's £10 delivery each way. So for me, on the occasional times that I need to use it, that works perfectly well. And actually it's the storage and servicing that would cost me more. So I always just hire these occasionally. I'm not a tree surgeon, so I don't constantly have a need for a chipper. So the thing that I would find strange about it is that you need specific transport, which is sort of annoying. If you had use for a 120mm chipper, it's probably easier to have a slightly lighter one that might not munch through it quite so quickly. But it makes it a lot easier to transport because you can run it up a pair of planks into a van, for instance. Overall, pretty impressed with it. Impressed with Boels as usual. You always call you back when you ring them and need anything, and they always try and get someone out to you on the day that you need it. And when you need something collecting quickly, so you're not leaving this on someone's drive, then they do that too. Thanks again for watching. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you again soon.